The Las Vegas Raiders have been making a lot of changes this offseason, and that includes hiring Pete Carroll as their new head coach and signing Max Crosby to the largest non quarterback contract in the history of the NFL until about 4 days later when Myles Garrett signed an even bigger contract with the Browns. But their most surprising move this offseason was trading for quarterback Geno Smith from the Seattle Seahawks, indicating that they're trying to turn this pirate ship around a lot faster than most people thought. But is Geno really the savior that they've been looking for? Don't get me wrong, he's better than the trio of Minshew, O'Connell, and Ritter that they were suffering with last year.
Boo! You stink!
But does Geno really put them in a position to be a contender in the NFL playoffs? Last year, he threw for a third best 4,320 yards, and he also had a 70.4 completion rating, which was fifth best in the entire NFL. But he also only threw for 21 touchdowns and the third most interceptions with 15. But stats don't always tell the full story, so let's jump in the film room and look at the good and the bad of Geno Smith. In this first clip, we see a lot of great stuff from Geno. Here we have a third down and medium against the Patriots, where they're showing a 7-man overload blitz. And immediately we see Geno tap his helmet, audibling the protection and bringing the third receiver in as an extra blocker. But as we let this play, we see that we're only getting a 5-man pressure with 2 defenders dropping out into a 6-man cover 2 look. Seeing this coverage, Geno knows he's going to have a window for this post route from the slot receiver. And using good footwork, he's able to evade the pressure and buy enough time to set his feet and deliver a great ball right between these 2 underneath defenders. This ability to play within the offense and make these anticipation throws, even while he's under pressure, is something that I noticed again and again while going through the film. In this play, the Seahawks are going to run a snag concept, meaning the tight end's going to run a corner route, the running back's going to run a flat, and the outside receiver is going to run a snag route. As we let this play, we see we're getting virtually the same blitz as last time with 5 rushers and a 6-man cover 2 look behind. Seeing this, Geno brings his eyes immediately to the running back in the flat, and this causes the linebacker to work out of the hook zone over top of this route. And with pressure in his face, Geno comes back to the snag route and throws the ball right off the back shoulder of the linebacker for a first down. He's very good at finding the holes in the zone defense and putting the ball exactly where it needs to be. Like in this play versus the Packers, where they're running a classic cover 3 look with 3 over top defenders and 4 underneath defenders. As soon as Geno sees that this deep third corner is sticking on the post route from Jackson Smith and Jigba, and the flat defender's eyes are in the backfield, he lets this ball rip to DK Metcalf on the wheel route. But what I really love about this play is his placement of the football, because if he throws it too deep, the corner is going to be able to come back and make a play. But instead, he puts it right over top of the flat defender, only where DK can get it. But he's not just good against zone coverage, he's just an elite thrower of the football in general. And we see that in this play versus the 49ers, where we have a 3rd down and 8, and they're playing cover 1, meaning 5 man-to-man defenders with 1 post safety over top. And the Seahawks are running a slot fade, which is a great concept against man-to-man coverage. And as this ball is snapped, Geno looks quickly to the bottom of the screen to freeze this post safety, and then comes back to the slot fade and throws a perfect ball to Tyler Lockett down the sideline to convert on 3rd down. Part of Geno's game that I think is very underrated is his mobility. He's not a running quarterback in the classic sense, but he does a good job evading pressure, keeping his eyes downfield, and finding the open receiver. And considering he got sacked 50 times last year behind the Seahawks offensive line, he needed to use his legs a lot. But he found ways to make a lot of great off-schedule plays, just like this one. And although I wouldn't call him a running quarterback, if he sees an opportunity to use his feet, he's willing to take it, and he has the physical ability to make big plays happen. But now let's pivot and take a look at the bad of Geno Smith. And before I get into what I consider to be bad decisions or bad throws, I just wanted to point out that about 5 or 6 of his interceptions were objectively not his fault. They were either tipped up into the air into the arms of another defender, bobbled by his own receiver, leading to an interception, or he was hit during his motion, causing an errant throw. But Geno's not off the hook for all of them, because there's moments when the play breaks down and he tries to play hero ball, but it goes drastically wrong. Like in this play versus the Niners, where he's trying to make a play on this 3rd down and 9. But there's just nothing there, and yet he still tries to turn his hips while he's sprinting towards the sideline and deliver this ball to Jackson Smith, but he ends up just sailing it over his head for an interception. And obviously there's no good time to throw an interception, but something that stood out to me while watching the film was that 5 of his 15 interceptions came in the red zone. And at least 4 of them, if not all 5, were objectively bad decisions. Like in this play versus the Lions, where he's getting a 6-man blitz and all of his routes are covered. This is a situation where you just need to eat the ball, take the sack, and live to fight another down. But he forces it and he takes points off the board. And I'm not going to go through and talk about all these different interceptions because honestly, there's not that much to say. It all really just boils down to bad decision making because sometimes taking a sack or throwing the ball away is the best option. And of course, Geno Smith knows this. He's an NFL quarterback and a good one. But there's just some times where that Green Goblin mask starts talking to him. Coward. And he goes absolutely nuts, lobbing the ball into double coverage in the corner of the end zone. And when we revisit the question of, can Geno make the Raiders a playoff contender? I think the answer is probably no. But I still think he's a good quarterback. And who knows, maybe the Raiders keep adding pieces around him and they surprise everybody next year. Crazier things have happened, like, I don't know, Tim Tebow winning a playoff game. And who knows, maybe they come out next year guns blazing, stick Mahomes in a locker, and they win the division. Pretty unlikely, I'd say, but it's football. Crazy things happen, and that's why we watch. And speaking of watching things, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button. If you want to see a certain player or team, just put that down in the comments and I'll get to it. See you next time.